Welcome to the Neon City Daily Podcast, the only podcast that is in fact the Neon City Daily Podcast. I'm Jamie.
I'm Nick.
I'm Josh.
And we have some things to talk about today, fellas.
We do. The list has grown, finally.
It did actually. It grew more than I thought it would.
Oh, I need to get a chair that's less noisy.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
See,
I got really nice ones at work, so I'm not going to admit on stream that I'm going to steal one, but I'm going to steal one.
I did just buy like a new mouse and a new control pad, so I don't think I can fit a new chair right now.
If there are any silent chair companies that want to sponsor the Neon City Daily Podcast by giving us silent chairs, I won't say no.
Surely that's a thing. Surely that's like gamer chair, quiet.
Oh, all the gamer chairs are rubbish because they're all that racing style.
Oh, they are.
I can't fit my fat thighs in them.
That's right. I remember like leaning back on one and just being like, wait, I've actually got shoulders. This doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, now I feel like shit because I'm about to say that I used to have one and I liked it. Back when
you need to get fat, James.
Well, I'm on my way, but I'm trying not to.
He has.
I got one of those racing chairs when I was living in Canada, and I finally got myself a PC situation going on. And they have a little cushion at the back that's meant to kind of fit into the crook of your back, so that your spine bends naturally. And
they're always kind of weird to me.
They feel really weird at first, but when you get used to them, they're really nice. And in my opinion, essential. Because otherwise, you have no support for your lower back and you die a horrible death in a week.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They're not comfy. I feel like I'm getting so old because I just look at that and go, nah, not practical. Not
bones aren't malleable anymore.
No.
Yeah, we stopped being two, yeah.
Yeah. I've had the same computer chair in Australia for probably the last, I want to say 12 years.
Damn.
And it's finally it was a really good chair.
Yeah.
But it's getting to the point where I'm thinking I need to replace this thing. It's noisy and it's starting to fall apart.
I'd love a new chair, but to get a decent one, like a decent ergonomic chair is just really expensive.
I feel like it also takes a lot of research.
Yeah.
Because I feel like everyone's version of ergonomic is going to be that, like, odd, slightly different. Because I've never sat in an ergonomic chair and gone, yeah, this is for me.
Yeah.
Like, at any point in my life. Anytime I've been, like, at a workplace or anything like that, it's like, we got these new ergonomic chairs so people don't, want compensation for making their backs explode. I always sit down and go, this is garbage. Why am I doing this?
Yeah, I was working...
Yeah.
Oh.
You're right.
Sorry. When I was working in the studio, they had like a whole bunch of like very clearly like ergonomic chairs, and they murdered my back. They didn't give me any support. And the best chairs I've gotten, I don't think that the company exists anymore. They handmade them, and actually I left one of them, so I had two, and I left one of them at your place, Nick, when we were doing the Nerd Train.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know what happened to that. It's probably gone at this point.
Not a clue. I assume it's disappeared.
Yeah.
Do you think they hurt more because we've just got such bad posture at this point that trying to sit quote unquote correctly?
Well, I think that the ones at the animation studio hurt because the back was fixed in place. You couldn't push it forward or backwards, right? And if you're working at a Cintiq animating for 8 hours a day, you're leaning forward. Whereas these chairs are made with the idea that you're going to be leaning back with your neck straight, looking at the computer screen with correct posture. But that is not a factor when your screen is actually like, on a 90-degree angle down in front of you.
Yeah.
So it didn't work out. Like, I could see how if I was just sitting there like doing data entry, it would be fine. But for something where I need to be like looking down at a smaller screen and drawing, it was just really, really bad. And it came the shit out of me. I hated it.
Yeah, that must be hell. Just looking, I work in IT, so I stare at screens, but looking down at a tablet that you're drawing on.
If you've got a good chair, it's fine. If you've got a good chair, it's okay. Like, I can do it at home, no problem, because like this chair, like I said, pretty good.
It's a lived-in chair. You've made it
it's a lived-in chair, and I can move the back backwards and forwards. So if I'm leaning forward, I can just bring the back in, and I've got support on my lower back, and I feel okay. I just didn't have that option when I was in the studio, and like honestly, the best kind of chair for an animator would be something like one of those masseuse chairs where you lie on just like. You basically lie down, and there's like a little hole for your head, and you just pop your head through, and then you draw. That would be great.
Wow.
I know, I'm getting you for Christmas, and if you don't use it, I'm going to be disappointed.
Dude, I would fucking be in your debt forever.
I just love that, like, this whole conversation. Yeah, ergonomic chairs. Yeah, you need to find the one that's just right. Jamie's like, the most luxurious option I can consider is now what I need. And you just dump that straight out
when I was working
no, you don't understand. I need to work laying down.
Dude, when I was working at DHX, they had like this masseuse that would come in and who would like try to fix our destroyed backs.
Yeah,
and
it's not a thing.
He'd bring his own chair in, and yeah, it was you would be sitting on on a slight angle, so you'd be angled down, and you just kind of like slump into the chair. You could like there was a spot where you would like wrap your legs around it and pop your arms through, but you'd still be upright. So he himself, his posture was fine, and you're just like lying down. And I'm just kind of thinking, this would be great to animate with. I just want this chair.
He's got posture privilege.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was comfortable too, and that was the thing. I was comfortable too, and I'm still angled downwards, and I'm thinking, you know what? I could use this. Why don't we just have this instead of normal chairs?
You should do those chairs probably cost like just see how well you can game from it.
I'd love to, but I dare say they're very expensive.
Yeah, I would assume those chairs are like a couple grand.
I reckon I could put one together for you.
All right.
Some timber and padding.
Yeah, I'll let you do it.
I have the worst mental picture of you and me dodging together this wooden fluff-covered pile of garbage and hoping for the best. There you go, Jamie. This is what you want, right?
Hey, you never know, boys. Sometimes lightning strikes in the most unlikely of places. I'd give it a go.
I've seen my carpentry. I wouldn't put anyone on a chair that I made.
I've called your bluff, and now you're backing down, but I'm serious. Do it.
Dude, I'm proud that my TV's still on the wall.
Do you want to tell people how many attempts you made to get your TV on the wall?
No, and you'll never know as long as you don't take the TV down.
Do you want to tell the people at home that your TV is there mostly to just hide the fact that there's many, many holes in the wall?
The saddest part is that I had a stud finder. So Dave and he came around when we finished building the house. First thing I wanted to do, obviously, put TV on the wall. So, as it was, the builders, because I got HDMI and power and everything in a little box recessed into the wall so that the TV would hide it. But I put that too far away from the centre of the wall where the TV would be mounted. So, it was a good excuse to upgrade the TV to a larger one to cover the box where the power and everything was.
Yeah.
So anyway, go out and buy a stud finder and bring it home, got the TV, got the mount, ready to go, drawn it all onto the wall, know where I need to drill the holes. Thought, I better check that the stud's there. And legitimately, Dave probably remembers better than I do, I think there's about 14 holes that aren't being used.
My man, I gotta be honest with you. Whenever you're doing any kind of like home improvement, I'm a little worried.
I have a painter coming tomorrow to fix the wall that I tried to paint.
Well, like the painter, I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about when you do it yourself, because I remember the patio and you putting we dug like this big hole and put like these logs in there, and you kind of go like,
and 6 bags of concrete.
Yeah, 6 bags of concrete, and you go like, wait, it's wrong.
This hole is too close to the house. The shade cloth is just sagging, so...
Oh, man.
Literally got a saw, cut the pole down because the concrete had set.
Yeah, it would have set.
And then had to dig a hole about 30, 40 centimetres away.
I remember, because I was down in Tassie at the time, and I was like, I want to visit my friend Josh. and we're going to do a thing. Like, we've already discussed it. We're going to do a thing today. And I've kind of messaged Kavia like, oh, I'm going to be a little bit late because of some reason. I think Lauren was going to come with me, but we'd done...
She was tired.
She was tired. We had like a big day the other day, and she's like exhausted. And so I'm like, you know what? Lauren's napping. I'll be a little bit late, and I'll come over. And you were going like, no, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Come by a different day. And you were
I didn't want to put you to work. I wasn't
you were really,
stopping for
you're
anyone.
really pushing for me not to come, and you weren't telling me why. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm leaving in like a day. I'm going to come over and say hi. And I get there, and you've just got your brother on his stomach digging holes, Dave also on his stomach digging holes, and
I was probably having a rest.
Yeah,
I feel like I should have come around. I've got
well-deserved
T-Rex
rest,
arms. They're
I'm
way
sure.
too short to be useful in that situation.
Yeah. And I'm just like, hey, man, what's going on? You're just destroying your backyard. Sam dug up, like, some pipes or something.
Oh, yeah, we hit an old pipe pretty damn quickly. Thankfully, it wasn't in use. It was an old ceramic pipe, so...
It was quite an experience.
In my defense, I did check the plans, and we had no pipes running that way. And that's all I cared about. Like, if I hit someone else's pipe, big deal. But...
Yes.
But anyway, back to the TV just quickly. In my defense, Dave was there too, and we were putting this stud finder against the wall and just pressing it, and it was just beeping, and we're like, oh, cool, there's a stud, and we drill, and it's like, nope, just plaster. Turns out, you have to hold the stud finder against the wall, hold the button down so it can calibrate. And then you can move it.
You gotta give it a point of reference, bud, or it's just guessing all day.
14 holes later, we finally read the instructions on the stud finder.
Oh, dude.
Oh, jeez. See, I will admit I can't fully fault you too much because I was so worried about balking that. I've literally told the people building my house to put up a TV breaker for me.
Yeah.
So,
that's the way to do it.
Yeah, it's just, you know what, I'll leave this to the guys that know instead of me who thinks I probably do.
Like I got, for gaming and movies, I was always going to put a projector out there. So when we built the house, I got them to put power and HDMI in the roof. But I'm too scared to, one, I don't really see the point anymore. Like you have to spend a lot of money on a projector, really, a decent one.
Yeah.
But two, I'm too scared to drill through the roof to access the power and HDMI because if I do it in the wrong spot, I can't put a TV on the roof to hide all my holes.
Well, I'm glad you've learnt your lesson.
Yeah.
If there's one way that I would describe you, Josh, trigger happy comes to mind.
I have a go.
I'll have a go is another way to put it. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Well, like I said,
I'll accept that.
In the man room that I'm recording in right now, I'm looking at the wall and I wanted to make it a feature wall, so I painted it black.
You're a man of action.
But 8 to 10 layers of paint later, and it's still patchy.
That's a lot of too action. Many layers. That is like...
In my defense, the people at Bunnings said that they'd never seen this before. They don't think it's my fault. We tried several brands of roller and paint. Like, they were giving it to me. They weren't charging me for it because they were looking at photos going...
that was...
This is not that, like, this is really hard to stuff up. You can't be this incompetent kind of thing. And it's just got to the point where I'm like, nah, Jess, we're going to pay someone. So there's literally tomorrow got a painter coming. And I sent him photos in advance. And he's like, I'm baffled. If I can fix it, I'll start ASAP.
Please tell me he said the word baffled. Yeah,
he did. Yeah.
Good, I'm glad. So he looked at what you'd done, he delved into his lexicon of words, and just like pulled out of his brain,
baffled.
I'm baffled. Yeah. Because he just had to use that.
But because I am quite particular, it is annoying me that I'm looking at this wall in daylight and it's just patchy. So, you know.
You thought about wallpaper?
Oh man, I'd probably stuff it
No one
up.
wants wallpaper. Yeah. Don't touch wallpaper. No, it's like, no, don't do it.
What about like some ostentatious 1970s wallpaper?
Oh, like to begin with, after the first attempt didn't work out, and by first attempt I mean a whole weekend of like 2 different brands of paints and everything.
Yeah.
I gave up. I didn't like the patchiness, so I thought, no, and I went and got a plastic bag, and you scrunch it up, and then I got some white paint.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, and you dip the plastic bag in it, and you just like sponge the wall for a cool effect.
Yeah, you texture it.
Right.
Yeah, and that looked really good. But then, ever since then, I'm like, no, I settled. I shouldn't have to settle.
You didn't settle. You adapted and you solved the problem in a different way.
Yeah.
So,
Let's just go with adapted and overcome.
a couple of
please.
weeks ago, I painted black again,
Oh no.
and it's come out even patchier. Probably because there's white
really?
under it now.
So the real question is, what is your wall made of, and is it sponge?
No. Well, that's the thing.
Not
Even
yet.
the people at Bunnings were like, is this like a wall that's facing the exterior of the house? Like it could be a temperature thing. You know, like they were even on the phone the Dulux specialists, and even they were like, you know, it's too cold to be painting, or it's too hot to be painting. You got to do it in this. I'm like, no. Like we were in perfect conditions to paint.
What is going on in the Krause house?
It's a cursed wall.
Well, it's messed up because the house is new, so I can't even suggest a ghost.
Yeah. Well, this was the old army barracks.
It's the army ghost.
I mean, we
the
find
ghost
live
of the
ordnance.
army.
burial ground.
Find live ordnance in the ground. That's about it.
Well, I mean, I'm building a place like half an hour to the right. Not half an hour, like 30 seconds to the right. Yeah, half a minute to the right. And apparently they've stopped building around there because they found asbestos. So I'm assuming there's a lot of people that are blaming that place for cancer. So
What?
Yeah. Yeah, asbestos is no fun.
Yeah, cool. Be careful, Josh.
I don't dig enough. I got all my friends to dig instead. So.
Yeah, I was going to say,
You're all done for me.
you don't dig enough, but you do have digs.
Yeah.
I've seen them.
Yeah. We just finished our front yard today, actually. It looks really nice. But you know what else is interesting?
Is it the last time breath of Nick's Logitech gaming mouse?
It's nothing that we've talked about so far is actually on our rundown.
no, none of it is on our rundown at all. I was considering whether or not I try to steer us back, but you've done it for me.
Yeah. Look at that. See, I'm getting better at segues. I think I should be the segue person. Other than last week's mishap, which was edited out and we won't talk about it ever again.
You should actually do the podcast while riding a Segway.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought, I'm with you. Yeah.
I let the silence permeate to see when it was going to get
There have
there.
been too many jokes
landed
already that I've thrown out
eventually.
that have just been met with like an unyielding wall of silence. So let's move on.
Don't mention walls. This makes me think of my bad paint job. I also didn't tape it off, so there's like black paint on white paint around the edges. But anyway.
Oh, Josh, why did you... Anyway, the mouse. Let's talk about the mouse.
Okay, so you two both know I'm kind of like that guy that finds something he likes and then sits on it forever, right?
Yeah, don't get it.
You
but
both
anyway.
understand that? Yeah. So, it's an MX510. Now, if you want to look up this mouse, you will find out that it was made 14 years ago.
Yeah.
It was the current model 14 years ago. And amusingly enough, one of the things that you'll find is a YouTube video that was made, I think, last year called A 14-Year-Old Mouse That's Still Amazing. So I'm not the only one here, right?
I wonder how many views that
But
video had. It's
I
probably
just took a
6.
look on Amazon.com.au and you can get it for $520.
Apparently.
What?
Yeah. Because it's amazing. It's just the best mouse I've ever had in my life until now.
We'll sell it for
Because
$520.
It's very tempting, but... See, the problem that's occurred with this mouse is that after 14 years of use and random stints just sitting there in storage not getting used, the scroll wheel... And this was the thing, we did the stream the other day, because I played League of Legends, which is something we'll talk about in more detail later. But... we've done a thing, and it's made me look at my setup, and I've gone, oh wow, I can't use the scroll wheel anymore.
Aww.
And the buttons on the side
Dude, I
have
don't
started
want to know what
coin
has,
flipping.
Like, gelled that up.
Yeah, I remember that
wish
mouse
I knew.
looking kind of grody last time I saw it
Man,
5 years
it's
ago.
because it's 14 years old now. But
Dude, it's probably
But,
buying a new mouse.
yeah, no, that'd be fine because it's probably like, let's face it, it's probably going to be something similar to itself. But I don't think I've got the time to wait really. I assume gestation period for a mouse would be relatively long. But, so I have finally given up on this mouse. And this mouse is going to disappear.
Oh, man, you should frame it.
I don't feel like it's gonna disappear. It's just gonna not be what I use. Because the mouse that I have on the way, and that I'm probably going to talk about a bit, maybe do a review on the website, is... I've forgotten the name. I've forgotten the model number. Josh, you seem to be happy about it, so I'm sure you'll remember it. I think
it was the
G5209, something like that.
It was the Hero something.
Yeah, Logitech Hero.
I think
502.
Yeah,
because that's what I'm using, boys, and it's great.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow. Because so I am fully assuming, because let's face it, this is the first time in this 14 years since this mouse. This mouse was $89.95 when I bought it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're at a point now where I haven't spent more than $15 on a mouse to try and replace this thing for, however many years. So it was on a sale from, EB Games. I'm spending, the $70 on this other mouse.
Yeah.
So I'll see if it changes my life. If it makes me assume that I've wasted the last 14 years with my
I'm just impressed
MX-510.
that I finally found someone that buys hardware from EB Games.
Well, I mean, they have sales, man.
Yeah.
They have sales. They're not bad.
So hold on, you got the G502 for $70.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's $149 usually.
Wow.
I got mine for $130.
Oh, I got mine for $130.
I got $10 up, baby.
What?
But no,
yeah,
it's a really nice mouse. It's got you can add weights to it if you like a bit more of a meaty mouse to go. It's just
oh damn,
it's
that
solid.
is actually. Sorry, it's still on sale. Well, I might nab that.
Well, you don't have one.
Just get another
Dude,
one.
I buy so many peripherals I don't need.
So wait, what mouse are you using at the moment, Josh?
I don't know.
Look at the bottom of your mouse.
It is a Razer Mamba.
Oh, it's a Razer. Yeah,
wireless.
get the
I know. The G502 is not Wi-Fi, so.
But they do have a Wi-Fi equivalent.
I was going to say, I specifically
you'd have to buy the charging pad as well, but, I mean, if you're into
so
not having
Logitech
wires,
have got the Lightspeed technology now where they're actually, if you buy the Lightspeed mouse pad,
yeah,
it just charges your mouse.
Yeah,
you just
that's
leave
what I'm
it.
saying.
You don't have to remember to plug it in like I do with mine. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that I saw that I went oh, maybe, but I couldn't justify the price.
Dave uses it. I know that he likes it.
Yeah, they look neat.
But, yeah, I don't know. Ever since going from corded to cordless, don't think I could go back. Every now and then I have to play with this plugged in because it got low. I forgot to charge it, which is the advantage of corded, obviously.
Yeah.
But I used to scoff at people that would say they get negatively impacted by cord drag.
Nah, that's garbage.
Seriously,
that has to be garbage.
No, I honestly understand it now.
Really? This is my thing. Is I go the other way. I had I've tried a couple wireless mice over the years, and I've always had negative experiences with them. I've always just been nah, this doesn't feel as reactive and as specific as I want it to be.
Yeah.
So
I mean, as the technology advances, it's only going to get better and better to the point where there's zero latency to it. But as it stands right now, I'm perfectly happy with my corded mouse. If I got a cordless one that happened to work super good and I didn't need to worry about charge, if I threw down the $400 I would need to invest in having the wireless mouse with the charging mouse pad, and I liked it, great, but I don't have the disposable income to say, yes, I'm willing to commit to trying this new way of using a mouse. The Hero is pretty good, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
That's just where I'm at with mice at the moment. And it's got a cool thing where you can unlock the scroll wheel and just let it go, just and it goes forever. Actually, I was watching a video about how Doom speedruns, the new Doom Eternal, they have actually gotten speedruns down to half an hour for the full game, right? And
Wow.
part of the reason why they can do that is because when you click in to change your weapons, time slows down. And if you jump while time is slowing down, it kind of builds up the momentum. And people got like a script so that they could bind jump to the scroll wheel. And so then they would go into this menu, time would slow down, they would unlock the scroll wheel,
and they would
jump
I'm
into
assuming.
the stratosphere, and they would just sail across the levels. And
Wow,
yeah,
that's
it's crazy.
I mean, I feel. Does anyone else feel weird about speedrunners using shit like that?
Well, it was
I feel
actually
weird about it.
It was actually
so.
really hotly debated amongst the speedrunner community.
Yeah.
Like, is this a legal action that we can take in this speedrun? Because, like, not only do you can bind the mouse wheel with a console command. So, like, technically that's within the game. But then having to use the scroll wheel like that relies on a certain type of mouse. So then that means that the entire thing is, like, locked to hardware. You need to have a certain piece of hardware. So what they did is they created a macro which simulates the unlocked scroll wheel. But then, and they made that
I'm
like
so
tournament
desperate
legal
to
or
have
whatever.
this in my speedrun, whatever, that I'm going to make a mess.
Yeah, so, but the thing is, the macro is more consistent than the scroll wheel. So people are just using that macro now, and they're catapulting their times like really quickly. And it's a weird thing where, because when I heard that described to me, I'm thinking to myself, it seems a bit weird. Like, because like the thing about speedruns is it's all about how fast you can do it. But once you put a macro in there, variables are taken away. Whereas if you're like just scrolling a mouse wheel with compressed air or something, like it's still, which I've seen, it's still a point where you can mess it up. You can do it not as well. And so the macro takes away like a certain aspect of like skill and luck that spinning your scroll wheel, as dumb as it is, it still has in it, you know?
I mean, see this comes back too for me is I had this same moment when I was watching when I was like really into Dark Souls.
Yes.
Like just the whole series, I was really, really into Dark Souls. But if you look up Dark Souls, one of the first things you find is speedruns. The speedruns were like, this thing is broken, I'm using it, ha ha. And the problem with that for me is I was sitting there and I was like, this isn't actually you running it. Like the game.
No,
and I'm having that exact moment with this where it's so weird.
There are speedruns where it's like no wall hacks, no clips, like not doing anything like crazy, just running through it as fast as I can. Then there are other ones where it's like, how can I get to the end as fast as possible?
How can I just break this and finish this?
A lot of the time, that's like I roll into a wall 50 times and then I jump at just the right moment and the game glitches and freaks out and puts me at the end, and then I have to fight the last boss without any clothes on, but I still fight him and win the game, and I do it in half an hour. And that I'm fine with, because it's not so much about like, check out how skilled I am. It is literally, look how fast I can get from the title screen to the credits. So like there are different types of speedruns like that, and that's fine by me. I don't mind if they kind of go, oh, this mechanic is slightly busted, I will exploit it, because it's a mechanic that was in the game. It was put there, and even if it's exploitable, they're not doing anything like... It's
within the bounds of the game's design.
Yeah, they're not putting in cheat codes. They're not running like mods or anything like that to alter the game. They're just exploiting the tools that they've been given, and that's okay.
It's always a question I had. I watch a streamer who played Black Ops 2 a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And he was self-professed bad player or whatever. He was actually pretty good, but he camped a lot. Which I think is a legit strategy. But
was
anyway,
he Wings of Redemption?
No.
Okay.
No, he was actually one of the cast members from The Inbetweeners, if you've ever heard of that.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a really, really popular gaming channel. But anyway, he got this special controller. I'm very ignorant about consoles and things like that someone recommended to him, and it's got like something about the triggers. They fire rapidly, like if he's got a handgun or something.
Programmable triggers, or
I don't know that it was programmable.
They just have turbo.
Was it like one of those Xbox Pro controllers?
No, it was definitely something a bit more. I
Third
can't
party?
remember. Yeah,
So
it was
like one of
definitely
the
third
Scuffs or
party.
something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Scuff. That's
Yeah.
what he got.
Yeah,
But something about the
Scuffs are
trigger,
like-
it was like he just had to press it once, and it would just like automate. It was almost like your pistol turned into a full auto.
Yeah,
Oh.
Scuffs are crazy, like customizable for like nearly everything. Like anything you want your control pad to do, you can basically tell it deal with it this way. So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Was there anything more to him having that, or just...
No, so that was just my input.
Yeah.
I was just,
Yeah.
because
I was waiting for
actually,
there to be like some payoff to
well, I
like,
always
he had
wondered
it
if
and
it
people
was-
were giving him shit. Like,
yeah, I just wondered
Yeah, I
if
was
it was
waiting for someone
cheating.
to be abusing him.
Would you
Yeah,
consider
well,
it cheating? Or...
I honestly, I feel like I do. I feel like if you want to make me impressed by a speed run, you legitimately play the game, and you play it like I guess like in quote marks as intended. Like you play the game and you get through it really fast.
Yeah, look, I
if you
think
want to
that-
impress me with it.
I think that in terms of like the scuff and stuff like that, like the thing that makes a control input go, you know, if you see someone playing with a control pad like that and you go like, oh, that's bullshit. I think the thing that makes me do that sets off my fuck you trigger is just if you have to put less inputs into the control pad to do advanced maneuvers that everybody else who's running at a baseline of just say like a mouse and keyboard or a control pad is running, then you are cheating in some way. Like you shouldn't be able to like hit a button and then it goes like, okay, I'll fire the entire clip of the gun, like rapid fire, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
That kind of thing to me seems cheap. And I know that like particularly in like competitive games, when you're talking about games like an MMO, maybe where macros are a way of life in there, like that's different because there's so many variables that you
Is
need
it
to like
though?
find. Yeah, it is
Because you could get a tactical advantage in like in a battle or even PvP in an MMO if you could string together things really quickly.
yeah, but if you've got the macros, then you need to bind those yourself. Like you need to do the legwork to get that stuff going. And everybody else who plays the game is also able to access those macros because we all have like the same basic input, which is keyboard and mouse. Like there's like if we're just playing strictly PC.
I guess that's where the scuff controller
Yeah.
is different.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you get to like say you're using like a control pad for Call of Duty, and suddenly like you go, I can just hit a single button and I'll fire every bullet I have, and I will absolutely nail this guy. That's when I go, that's ridiculous. Or you know maybe there's like a test of strength thing that's in the game, like in Gears of War, where you have to
yeah.
like mash the X button to survive, and if suddenly you go, oh, I just press the button once and it will like put the maximum amount of X inputs in possible and I don't even have to struggle, then that's another like an unfair advantage. And I think that's what it's about. Like if you're handed the unfair advantage, it's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like weirdly semi-purist, I guess, when it comes to, in quote marks, speed runs. But
Well, yeah.
at the same time, I'm not really a speedrun guy. I'm not in that community. I'm not a guy that looks for speed runs. They're just a thing that I've stumbled across now and then, and I'm just going,
Yeah,
It's
generally,
impressive because for me the more impressive part is presumably the research that these speedrunners have to put in.
yeah.
Yeah, like the Quake speedruns at the moment, they're kind of iffy because like the exploit is like so all encompassing that like they just pause a game and jump at the right time and they're off into the stratosphere.
Well, did you
And
see that Doom Eternal is like 30 minutes?
Sorry,
now?
that's what I'm talking about, Doom Eternal.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you look at say Quake 1, where it's like, you know, they still got through the game in 30 minutes. If like less, in fact. I can't remember what it was. It's crazy. I've watched it before and it blew my mind. But it's just like somebody who memorized the entire layout of the game and they're just doing like rocket jumps and grenade jumps and just like bypassing everything to get to the end as quick as humanly possible. And there are some really good Doom 2 runs as well, where people are just they just know the game so well that they're just like shaving seconds off of runs by running diagonally and stuff like that, and like that's a real art form. And I think we're going to see at some point there's going to be the Doom Eternal runs are basically like, yeah, you jump into the stratosphere and you like kind of like do some jumps just at the right spot and you're there. What's really going to make it interesting is once you've got that baseline is like, how can you beat that? And so people will shave like minute seconds off that over and over again until you get to a point where just no one can do it anymore. But if something like Doom 2 is an example where they're still doing speed runs of it and still trying to get faster.
Yeah.
Like that's the cool thing about the speed run is it's always, even though you look at it and you go like, oh, well, you didn't really play the game, did you? But it's not about that anymore. It's a race and you get there any way you can that the game will let you. And I guess that's why allowing macros and stuff that wouldn't be normally within Doom Eternal is kind of a controversial thing because suddenly everybody has the spinny mouse wheel and it is like consistent. It's not about like, can you do the input at the right time? It's like, can you... Well, I guess it technically is, but not in the same way, you know?
Not in the same way, yeah. It's yet again, it's like you remove that aspect of as intended.
Yeah.
And it's like, so you've totally bypassed the as intended part in the gameplay portion, and it just kind of...
But also, to be fair, you look at, say, like, Paper Mario speedruns, where there's, like, this stupid weird glitch, where it's like, Mario runs into one area and he talks to a guy, and then he runs to another part of the area and he talks to somebody else, and then he goes into the corner of a thing, and then he, like... falls off screen forever and then zips across screen forever and bam, he's in an entirely new part of the level or the game, in fact. And it's this kind of... That was definitely not what the developers intended. However, I am very close to the end of the game now from the beginning, and so I've shaved the Mario RPG time by like an hour.
Yeah, I was going to say, you drop an hour off it, don't you, by doing
something
that
stupid
thing,
like that. There are so many crazy speed runs. If you're ever interested, keep an eye out for Games Done Quick. You can also find streams, like old streams of Games Done Quick, and it's just people will go up and do speedruns in front of a crowd for charity. And they're always really, really cool to watch because usually you'll see speedruns and they're done in the comfort of somebody's home, and so they're fine and they're not performing. But in Games Done Quick, it's in front of an audience. There are people shouting out names of people who have donated. There are dudes who come up on stage who aren't invited and distracted people. And it's like this whole thing where they're trying to beat their run, or at least trying to get on par with their intended time. And it's really cool to see, like, can they do it? Have they played the game enough so that even under these very unfamiliar circumstances, they can just bash through this game in 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Speaking of bashing through, Nick played LOL.
How'd that go for you, Nick?
He bashed through.
It went. It certainly went. I feel like I still hate LOL.
Yeah,
and I'm going to stop you right there. So Nick will come on to the Bronze broadcast and we'll go more in depth about this amazing turn of events. There's really no other word for it. It was incredible. It was a joy to behold.
I mean, I watched it, sort of.
You gave up about 15 minutes in and told us to hit
boring.
you up when you were finished.
Yeah, so you told us to play a better game and left, and I was wishing we were.
In the Twitch chat.
Well, I mean, like, I still had it going on my second monitor, but I was farming wetfish in Monster Hunter, which is way more fulfilling.
Well,
let's face it, Monster Hunter in general is pretty fulfilling, and those wetfish this week have been extra fulfilling.
But we're not going to go down this road. It's happened. If you didn't catch the live stream, there will be a video, I believe, Nick. We're going to put something together.
Soon. I'm going to put together like a bit of a hot take, a bit of a highlight reel, I think, because I think the game was 33 minutes long or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you could distill that down into 2.5 minutes, easy.
To put things into perspective. We were playing a game, let's say about 40-minute game. When I put together the sizzle reel that's online at the moment, that's a 30-second video. And all the quips and yelling that you did in that video, I got from about 7 to 10 minute
Yeah,
period.
that was before I even properly started playing the game. That was
not
when I was
a lot.
fighting the game.
That was just before the game started, and then about 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, that was a lot of what you had in that sizzle reel was before the game would even let me actually play a multiplayer game. So, if that's a bit of a help for the taster that Josh has put up, then there we go. So that's what we're looking at.
But the debt has been paid. Well done.
So
if you
now,
if you lose
what's
another
about
quiz,
to happen? No, see, what's about to happen is that I'm about to gift you on Steam. If you've got it open, you need to have this open.
I don't, and I'm not going to. I'm going to create a new Steam account.
You need to. What?
I'm going to open a new Steam account and
Why?
forget.
Why?
Because then you can't gift it to me.
What?
See, this is going unfortunately wrong, Josh. Because see, I got around to playing League of Legends. You need to play the scary.
Yeah, I know.
So that's how this is going to work.
It's fitting, I think, that everybody who is listening in hears in real time your reaction to the game that you were gifted, Josh.
Chances are I won't even know what it is. Because I don't.
Not.
That
Probably.
I don't
maybe
follow the
it's
horror
a pretty.
genre. I saw a couple of followers on
It's a pretty
Facebook.
well-known one. So.
A couple of followers on Facebook commented on the post about me playing a horror game, and they did mention a couple, and I looked them up, and it all looks horrible, to be honest.
What did they suggest?
It's like,
what did they suggest?
Spicy food. I don't get the point. Why don't you just enjoy your food instead of burning yourself?
I thought you were about
You
to
can
say that the
enjoy
game was
spicy
called
food.
Spicy Food, but what do you
Yeah,
remember
that's
what they
where
suggested?
I thought that was going. So.
Dead by Daylight, I think.
It's more of a multiplayer
that was
game.
a discussion. But that's a multiplayer game.
Yeah, it's not.
And I kind of really want you to suffer alone.
Dead by Daylight's not a real spooky game. It's like it's more like
of a jump scare.
Yeah, it's basically a 1v4 or 5 or something like that.
Yeah, it's a 1v4. One of you plays the bad.
Yeah, you
and
basically.
I think
the
I've
other four
seen
play.
that before.
Yeah, someone
actually.
plays Jason, someone else plays like the camp
Yeah,
counselors having
yeah.
sex, and you got to not get killed. Whatever, not scary.
Yeah.
So Josh, no, hold on. Speaking of
What
fairness,
is
hold on.
your name? No. What is your current... Just, you can get rid of this if you want to like, just make sure this isn't on the podcast so you don't have everyone friending on there. What is your name on Steam at the minute?
It's
Solitum Brunus.
Yeah. It's Latin for poo
Alright,
or something.
Sweet. So I can see that you're online. Let's just roll down here. There's you. Yeah, you don't own the game. That's a surprise.
I think that name means
continue.
loose browns, by the way, in Latin.
Cool.
Browns.
It's solid browns.
Loose browns.
Solid browns.
Wow.
No. I would never put solid browns. There's loose browns.
Josh only has loose browns.
Yeah. Solid browns would be a
we-
misrepresentation at this point.
Alright, here we go. It's working.
Alright,
My
something
purchase
has
receipt has
popped
come
up.
up. You should now have a video game to play.
Right. Outlast.
Yeah.
Don't know how to react. Never heard of it.
Wow. Alright, you need to just download that, set up a stream, because the less you know, the better, buddy.
Now,
The less you know, the better. And I will know. If you look this up, I will know, and I will rain on that parade.
genuine question. Your League game lasted 40 minutes. Can I play 40 minutes of this and be done?
You know what?
Or do I have to
Yes.
finish it? I mean, I feel like you've gifted me a game. LOL
No,
is
you don't
free.
have to. You don't have to finish it, Josh.
No.
That'd be. I mean,
We can make a
But
series
you will
out of
be
it.
penalised. You will be penalised the more you dick around and don't move forward.
So I can't just sit
So
in
if
the
that's
menu.
what you're playing at, you're gonna try and sit on the menu. You're gonna open it up and go, "I'm not doing this," and stand there.
Yeah.
It's gonna work
it has
against
to be
you,
solid gameplay.
buddy. Yeah.
But I'm scared that Jess is behind me right now because I can't hear things with my headphones on. That's just
Why are
how
you
jumpy I am.
Why
Like-
are you scared that your wife is behind
No,
you?
because it's the anticipation of someone...
because of
Of
those
your
loose
wife.
browns.
No, of just anyone touching me or surprising me while I can't hear them coming. It's like when I'm home alone, I always lock the
Josh,
front
there's a reason I
door.
picked
Jess
this
thinks I
game.
probably sit here and do weird things to myself, but
You do, but like at least look. All right, listen.
this game looks horrible. And how is it overwhelmingly positive on Steam?
Because it's a really good horror game.
Because it's a really good horror game.
Almost 35,000 people need help.
Listen, dude, you appreciate this because the game is actually made by ex-Ubisoft staff. You're also lucky that Nick didn't get you a VR game.
I did consider it. I did.
You should be on your hands and knees saying, thank you for not getting me a horror VR game, Nicholas, because I would have died.
Let's put some of this... All right, here's some reviews. Easily one of the scariest games I've ever played.
Cool.
9.5 out of 10.
You shouldn't hype yourself up like this, Josh. Just go
into
it blind.
Rock, paper, shotgun. Well, I'm not reading about the game. I'm just reading the excerpts of some reviews. What Outlast can definitely claim to be is a great game. It'll also intrigue, terrify, and surprise you. Outlast is not an experiment in how games can be scary. Oh my gosh. It's an exemplification.
I told you not to read that.
You're going to enjoy this. Yeah, you're going to enjoy this, Josh.
No.
It's going to be okay. We're gonna stream it. We're all going to hang out. We're going to talk.
No.
It's going to be good.
Wait, hold on. So are you guys going to be... You have to set the rules. So, like, some people have suggested
play the game and
that I have to play it.
Well, yeah,
but people have suggested I have to play it at night with headphones, alone.
Really? See, I feel like when you play it, I don't mind being in a voice chat with you. I think that'd probably actually be a good thing. If like we can watch the stream and actually talk to you while you proceed forward, because we can see how you feel.
I'll have a webcam as well, because I think you need to be able to.
Yeah.
Turns out Josh has got like a secret super manly OnlyFans account where he pops in and we go, Josh, why do you have a 4K?
I just got to get rid of the sex swing out of the background and we'll be right.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't really hold to like the whole like, oh, you gotta play it at night, you gotta play it alone. Like just play it. I think it comes down to just play it when you want to play it. Probably when there's no distractions about.
Well, I'm not about to play it around my kids.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they won't care anyway because you'll have your headphones on.
It's more about I don't want them seeing it.
It's probably fine.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm like really interested to see what Josh's kids think about the first time they see their father shit his pants.
That's not the first
You're
time.
assuming it's the first.
Cool. So Josh is going to play Outlast, and he'll stream it, and we'll all be there to support you, buddy, and watch the stream. And yeah, cool. That's pretty good. We solved that problem.
Oh my gosh, I'm crying like a baby. So pretty hard for me to finish any horror game. Sorry, I'm just reading the user reviews now.
Josh, stop reading the reviews. You're gonna psych yourself out, dude.
Dude, there's like three different reviews that tell you to take a shit before you play the game.
Impossible
Josh,
for you.
Josh, that's not going to help you. Yeah.
Anyway,
your body will always find more poop.
So Outlast, just a horrible diatribe of terrifying experiences. Let's move on to the Monster Hunter Spring event. It's Roses themed, everybody.
It's actually a really good event. It's got a whole bunch of stuff and things, and that's what we want. Yeah, that's what we want. We always want more stuff and things.
They dropped the Raging Brachydios and the Furious Rajang stuff, which is great. I haven't done the Rajang yet, but I've gone through Brachydios and gotten all his armor. And you can get like this. There's one quest which is literally just catch 2 fish, but they're some fish. They're super rare fish, and they give you this whetstone scale that lets you sharpen all of your gear like just in one swipe instead of having to do it for like 5 seconds. It's just like shink, boonk.
Yeah, all your weapons, like for anyone that hasn't played Monster Hunter, as you use weapons, they kind of like degrade, but they don't like horrible game degrade. They kind of just like don't do as much damage eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, then you sharpen, and usually this takes like, maybe 20 seconds, just shung, 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 and you get out of there. But, you're hunting monsters and they hit you in the face. Mm-hmm. But this event has made everyone realise, wait a minute, these things do it in like no time. and I'm sorted. And for some reason, they're like OP with the fact that they don't get used most of the time. They don't get used up.
The great thing about it is you can now farm these fish, which is what I was doing when you were playing League of Legends, and you're able to have, like hundreds of scales, so you don't need to worry about, oh man, I don't want to use the wet fish scale unless it's an emergency. Now you just have like a crap ton of them, and it's fantastic. And it's kind of funny how that is the quest at the moment that I'm like just running the most in this event.
Yeah. Do you want to hunt monsters, or do you want to get a spike of fish? Get a spike of fish.
Give me that fish. Give me that good fish, boys. And speaking of like fish, has reminded me of Animal Crossing. And I haven't done that much in Animal Crossing, but Nick, check it out. Lauren has a 5-star town.
What?
Yeah, she has a 5-star town.
I don't know what that means.
That's a lot of time. Like, that is a lot of time, is what that means, Josh.
You need to make your island so nice in that game for it to give you 5 stars, because they rate you based on like the amount of items you have, the amount of objects you have placed and where they're placed and all that stuff. You really got to put a lot of time into there. I reckon she's put about as much time into Monster Hunter as I have into Mountain Blade Warband, and that's saying something.
That is.
Did she put that time into Monster Hunter, or did she put it into Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing. I'm talking about Animal Crossing.
There you go. Yep. Yeah. No, I can understand that. I will admit that every time I log on to Animal Crossing, I haven't done that much over the last week. I've just kind of been on and off, do some of the daily stuff and kind of kick around a bit. But every time I log on, it's like one person's playing Animal Crossing, and I immediately know it's Lauren.
Yeah, it's always.
I immediately know it's your miso. I have no I'd have no inkling that it's anyone else, and I just go, her town's going to be so good. And then I'm wandering around mine like, this is garbage.
Yeah, so
I don't like my town. I know it's not as good.
Because Lauren can clearly hear me through these walls, and she sent me a message saying that she's been playing it for 125 hours. So I'm pretty much right, because I've been playing 112 hours of Warband. Sorry, Bannerlord.
Bannerlord.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more impressive is the time period you've done that, though.
Yeah.
Like 112 hours over 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I mean, what can I say? Quarantine hits us all different.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I'm still at work, so...
Yeah, it hits us different. But if I can just backpedal a little bit back to Riot. Did you guys hear about their anti-cheat crap?
With
no, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
So
Valorant.
I don't know what this is. So if you can give me a rundown, that'd be great.
Okay, it's a bugger.
It's a rip-off of so many different. It's basically this is Jamie's probably got his own take, but for me, it's CS:GO.
Yeah.
And Overwatch had a baby, and it's just I don't know, just drown it in the river.
So, I don't know how to process that. I'm not going to lie.
And yet it's still in beta, and it's breaking like viewership records on Twitch, and it's really annoying me because some of my favourite LOL streamers are now just streaming Valorant, and it's just.
Well, I mean, you've got favourite LOL streamers, so I can't relate to that at all.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how that leads into the other.
Well, okay.
Other than it being
it's like your favourite sports star.
This all sounds
plays basketball, and he's now gone bowling, and it's just
okay.
Like,
So it's
like Michael Jordan going to baseball.
Honestly, the type of game it is immaterial to the stuff going on, because their anti-cheat software is like it runs at the kernel level of your machine. So
you're not escaping it.
There is no escaping it. It is essentially malware. It has permissions to everything. And if somebody figures out a way, like, so people going like, oh, well, Tencent owns Riot, and so they're probably like spying on everything. It's probably not the case, but if somebody were to get access to the anti-cheat stuff and able to kind of like peek into people's computers, they would find that they have like unrestricted access. It is a humongous security flaw.
It's the reason I'm not playing it. I wanted to give it a go.
And if it's at that level too, you don't have a choice, really.
No,
you have to have it, yeah.
So, does this game have a large player base? Because surely not.
huge.
I mean, it probably will. Like
for a beta.
It's piggybacking directly off the League of Legends fan base, and you know that they're addicted, but they're probably desperate for something else to play.
You stop that typing.
It's true. It is true. It is true that probably, like anyone that's like in and like super into that crowd, I can fully see where they would want another game with the same kind of...
I mean, it's like the first game from Riot in over a decade.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, technically the card game came before this.
That was a card game?
Yeah, based on the LoL
Did it do about as good as I imagine?
I actually quite like it, but then it made me realise... I don't know. I haven't looked at any. It just made me realise that I like, what is it, Hearthstone?
Yeah.
And stuff like that, that I want to check that out, because if I kind of like this, then maybe I should give card games a go.
Man, you should always give card games a go. I'm a massive advocate for card games.
Well, maybe you can come play the LoL one with me.
I'm not going to play League of Legends. Don't even try.
Technically, you're not playing League of Legends.
I'm not going to play League of Legends. Let's just leave that right there. Actually, that reminds me. Because of, the insidious nature of technology at this point, I keep getting ads on my phone now to download some League of Legends like mobile thing.
You're one of us
for
now.
free. Just get it. It'll be great. And I can't. So my phone and like whatever the algorithm is that the wizards make, they understand that I have gone and installed League of Legends, but they haven't listened to me talk about how much I don't want to play it. I feel like this is a fundamental flaw.
Their advertisers probably pay them to just ignore anyone that talks shit about it.
Just ignore it.
Like, he said MOBA.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Trust me, he'll be fine. But he said he wants to set it on fire. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine. Fire, like, it's a passionate fire. He's on fire for League of Legends.
They love it so much they'll let us into the kernel.
Yeah,
they really don't. But that's knowing that that's in there has immediately vetoed me even looking at that.
Yeah,
game.
Same. I'm not touching it.
That seems garbage. That just seems like a bad.
We all know that I'd try anything Riot release, but that, as someone that works in IT and is very security conscious, that crosses a massive line for me.
Yeah, it does.
There's so many people that won't care, and the game will still do stellar.
Well, people who don't understand just how big a deal that is will just play it and let that shit into all their crap. But I'm like, no way. I wonder
how Warframe's doing, because they're also suffering. Like a lot of, I only watch one or two streamers of not Warframe, Warzone.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Warzone.
I was wondering, I hadn't heard anything about Warframe for a while. So.
Yeah, no,
so I was wondering what horrible thing their developers had decided to do that I didn't know about yet, and I was like, I kind of like that.
But Warzone's copying it too. Like the PC cheaters are becoming very much an issue.
Yeah.
I don't know about the official response, if there is one.
They've just started banning people, haven't they?
Yeah, there's something like 10,000 bans.
Yeah, that's all.
But as far as I know, there was like a record number of that was the only thing that I'd really read about it, was that there was a record number of bans in like 1 week.
Yeah.
And for like any game that they've made, and let's face it, these are guys that make Call of Duty games, so that's a big.
It's a big number.
Like that's a big deal. Yeah. That is a very specific amount of no weird.
Wait, so do we have like a definitive number on how many people they're banned for cheating?
It was 10,000 in a week.
10,000. Wow.
Yeah, in a week. Yeah.
When they claim their play base is 50 million, that's just a drop in the water. Well, it's not even a drop in water, but it's to the point where players are even turning off crossplay.
Yeah.
Or console players turning off crossplay so they don't have to play against people on PC. But I didn't know this until recently, but when it comes to crossplay, yes, you will play, like if you're on PlayStation, it will pair you with someone on PC, but only if it detects that the PC player is using a controller.
Oh.
It's not a hard and fast rule. So if it's struggling to fill a lobby, it will put gamepad console players against keyboard and mouse PC players.
What about, like, I mean, I don't play, but what about people like me who play on keyboard and mouse primarily for shooters, but generally have a control pad plugged in at all times? Will it just go like, I detect a control pad? Cool.
Yeah, well, see, that's how a lot of people... I can't remember the game, but a couple of years ago they got aim assist on. Because they had a controller plugged in, but they used keyboard and mouse. But because the controller was plugged in...
No, that wasn't Halo. That was... wasn't that Destiny?
Might have been Destiny, yeah.
I know Destiny had an issue with that when they first started, like, trying to... When they first, like... put it out there for PC, and there was some kind of exploit that you could use by having a control pad, but then using the thing. So you got like a certain amount of like soft lock and aim assist because you had that control pad. Yeah, I know that was a thing. I don't know how big of a thing that was because I played it primarily on a console. So.
Sure. Yeah. Man, yeah, it's one of those things where like cheaters just ruin everything. You know,
if it can be exploited, someone will exploit it.
Yeah, people will do it, and it's such a shame because I mean, like I think back to playing Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC, which was definitely like the optimal experience in terms of just responsiveness and graphics, but at the same time there were guys spawning you into abandoned shacks and then blowing you up. Like, just setting the parameters so that your character was dynamite. And you just had to wait 5 seconds and explode. And obviously, it didn't happen all the time, but every now and then something would happen and you go, oh, this is ridiculous. I just want to play the game. And, the
problem is, too, that's like that's Red Dead especially is the main example that I already know of. Where that has just permeated everywhere, though. Like, we literally know a dude and have played with a dude who has a USB device that he plugs in specifically for Red Dead 2 and can turn it on so that his auto assist will immediately get him headshots every time.
And Red Dead's also like really stupid in terms of the way that they've done their multiplayer because so much stuff works client side instead of server side.
Yeah, instead of server.
And they've been it's been the same setup since Grand Theft Auto 4, and Rockstar just have never addressed it. They just kind of like try to ban people, but they're screwing up as well. I remember a couple months back, people were spawning in like the treasure chests that have the gold bars in them. Which is basically
the paid currency.
Yeah, paid currency. And people would open those treasure chests who were just players who were like, oh, a treasure chest. Someone else has spawned it. I will open it. And they got banned because they opened it.
Because they opened it,
Really, really crap. And it was just such a shame because it's one of those games where it's the way that it plays, it's very immersive. It really tries to immerse you and be as grounded as possible. And then you got people dropping lions on you and spawning in boxes, and you get blown up and teleported around, and you fall through the earth, and then you get banned for it. And it's just get your shit together.
Well, GTA Online was always a hot mess.
Yeah,
that was always a cluster. No matter what you
it's all the same. It's all the same.
It's a pity because. A lot of potential.
It was such a good idea. And it was. And to be fair, I still enjoy Red Dead 2. Yeah. Because they seem to be a lot more on the ball with that one. But, it was such a good idea.
Yeah.
But I just feel like just their execution and a couple other things along the way just kind of really left it open to just be what it is now.
In terms of open world sandbox games, the guys who really nailed it were Volition. It was just the main game, the main story. You can play it with friends. Speaking of, they've re-released Saints Row 3. So, it's one of those kind of games where so much good stuff is in the single-player campaign. Why just wall it off to single-player only? Why not make it co-op? Why not?
Yeah, well, that was like the main draw for Saints Row.
Yeah.
And it was blatantly the main draw. And I mean, you look at the Saints Row series, 2 was blatantly the best story-driven game, but 3 and 4 just kept that fun, that like fact that yes, you had a sandbox, yes, you could just hang out with a friend and be in it.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
and I mean, like, all this cheating and all these exploits and all this bullshit, I reckon that's got the developers sweating quite a bit. And I think that the best way to remedy that would be perhaps maybe some Xbox deodorant.
I saw that coming a mile off and it was still
oh, yeah. Wow. That was unfortunate.
Or was it fortunate?
Well, let me... Because, when we were, I'll just chuck this out there, a little bit of behind the scenes for anyone listening. We actually have a board that we just chuck our ideas for the week on. And, so I go to the supermarket this week, I need some deodorant. I go to the aisle, what do I see? What is right there? Some Lynx body spray Xbox. And my brain says, what would that be?
So
and then my brain said,
sweat.
Just
wait. Before you go, Nick, before you tell us what it is, I want to take 3 guesses. And if I get them right, then I win. So.
Hold on, I want to guess 2.
Okay, Josh can also guess. Whoever comes the closest of these 3 guesses wins.
See, I can almost guarantee you that one of you will get it.
Okay, so Josh, do you want to go first?
I can almost guarantee
Does it smell like gamer sweat?
Oh, so you can't say yes or no yet, Nick. You got to listen to all our guesses.
I've got to listen to every guess. All right, well, I will listen to every guess.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I will hopefully remember which one said it.
So guess one from Josh was gamer sweat, and now I will make a guess. And I'm going to guess... If it's Xbox brand deodorant, it must smell like an Xbox. So I'm going to guess it will smell like
Bernie.
like a dust-fueled exhaust port from the fan.
Yeah, so Bernie.
All right, your turn, Josh.
Does it smell like... I don't know. I only had one guess, and...
Wow.
Hold on. Lemon lime.
I was so confident.
Lemon
that
lime?
one of you would pick this up.
Lemon lime. I'm going to get more like a Mountain Dew, but it's, Xbox, green. Yeah, I'm going to go.
All right. My second guess is Master Chief.
How do we don't have a point of reference.
You just know. You would know if you smell Master Chief.
Yeah.
How?
You would. You just would. It's like when the Spirit of God has descended on you. You just know it. You also know when you smell Master Chief.
Okay.
Your next guess.
Okay. Is my guess?
Yeah, it's your guess.
Yeah, your guess.
Right. Okay. We have to assume it's nothing ridiculous. It was kind of trolling the first 2 times. I'm going to put in a legitimate guess of...
Okay.
Now, Xbox... Gaming, predominantly male. Deodorant, predominantly male. I'm gonna go with banana.
Okay, banana. So since we're now taking, obviously our real guess, it's Lynx. They're not known for the best smells.
Come on, Africa. Classic.
They're doing a pinch, just judging from their commercials where they do the spray thing where it leads a girl to their dick and stuff. I'm going to say that it smells like an epic gamer moment.
Again, just don't have a point of reference.
You'd know it if you smelt it.
You'd know it if you... I already knew that was your answer to that. Josh was going to say what, and you were going to say you'd know it. You'd know it if you smelt it. Oh, jeez. Well, yeah, one of you got it right. One of you nailed it.
Was it Master Chief?
Because I sprayed it on myself one day, and I stood there, and I went, what is that smell? I know that smell. It's kind of like citrusy. Is that lemon lime? And then I stood back and went, does that smell like Mountain Dew? And so that's what it is. Lynx Xbox deodorant, as far as I can tell, smells like Mountain Dew. What?
Before Josh said lemon lime, Mountain Dew was my third guess.
Wow.
No, it's always been heavily associated with games, hasn't it?
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Now that we've guessed, I'm going to look it up. So hold on, did I win that?
Yeah, technically.
Yeah, you did, Josh. You got that
Good
one,
job,
Josh.
buddy.
You won whatever. You
won the victory.
won that.
We should have put
you don't
something
get
on it
anything for
because
it.
Jamie's the only one that's got out scot-free so far.
He is actually at this point. So
That said,
it's kind of unfortunate we missed a chance to put Jamie in the hole. But yeah.
Well, you missed the chance because I was the one running the show.
yeah,
You
true.
won. That's what you win.
That said, there
Enjoy.
is 2 points I'll make about this, which I feel is 2 points way too many. But anyway, there is also a body wash in Xbox Scent, and it's actually fresh mandarin and juicy pear.
Oh.
What?
Look, Nick, I'm sorry. Look, if you
Fresh
use
mandarin and
Xbox
juicy
brand
pear.
Xbox Lynx deodorant, then you really need to go right into this and get like an original Xbox logo as a tramp stamp. I think it's the only way.
How does that equate?
I just feel like you really gotta like.
Wait, you
Look,
smell
alright,
like
you know
what
you know,
gamer's
you know,
drink.
I
You better
rescind
get
that.
it
I
like
take that
stuck
back.
on you.
I take it back. You gotta get it on your chest. At least it's not a tramp stamp.
I'll do it.
Yeah, no, that's no. I'm good. I just
I'll get an
I'm
Xbox
good.
logo tattooed on
I mean,
my
I'm not
body.
gonna lie. You've said that, and I'm just like, you know what? I'd probably do that, but I also don't want to pay you to do that. So
If
I'd do it.
I'm going to put this out there
Like
right
to
now.
you. If you give me a tattoo pen, I'll figure it out.
I'm going to put. Oh, that's terrifying. As someone that's got tattoos, that's just terrifying.
Jamie suddenly just doing backyard jobbies, just making the rent by giving people horrific tattoos.
I will get this Xbox tattoo wherever you want me to get it. If you and Nick play a game of LOL.
Are you?
I've already suffered enough.
No, wait, are you?
Come on,
Are you
man.
for real serious? You
I-
would get an
I
Xbox,
yeah.
original Xbox tattoo
You
on
need
your
to-
body. You would
I
actually put
can't.
down the money for that if Nick and I both played a stinky game of
This is-
stupid League of Legends.
I have a tattoo artist friend who does all my work. I trust him.
Man.
I would.
You don't need to trust him. It's like the easiest logo ever. This is worse for
Hold on.
all of you are getting away with like way less punishment than I feel at this point.
No, Nick, he has to live his life with a freaking Xbox tattoo on his body.
Wait, are you talking the classic
an
one?
Xbox,
Like the actual. It's like the
not-
full on X.
Yeah, the big
sharp
X. It looks like
edges.
it's been like cut through.
Yeah. I do
Yeah,
it.
Oh, jeez.
dude, if that's what.
I do it.
If you sign a legally binding contract, so you can't wiggle out at all, then I will play League of Legends so you can get that Xbox tramp stamp.
I will even get it first.
All right, if you get the Xbox
If
tattoo,
you don't play LOL, it's friendship over.
if you get the Xbox tattoo, I will play League of Legends.
Done.
Oh.
Done.
Give me a fortnight.
Done.
I feel like
This is a verbal contract. You have to do that.
Hold on a second.
I feel like Josh has made a hasty life
contract.
decision.
Binding.
Oh,
Oh, there you go.
oh.
Oh. Oh, wow. Generally speaking, a verbal agreement can be just as enforceable as a written one.
Goddamn right.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Everyone, delete your recordings.
I'm sorry, I can't do that, Josh.
I'm going to get it done. You don't think I will, but I'm actually going to get it done. This is happening. If this
You
is
don't
the price
even
I
like
have to
the
pay.
Xbox. This is great.
I feel like this is like the heaviest price anyone has freely agreed to pay. for probably like half an hour of me saying "fuck," I hate
I
this.
swear.
So
If this doesn't get us extra views, I give up on the podcast.
I feel like if you're gonna do this, we need to make this an event. We need some video of this
Oh,
happening.
for sure.
and
Oh yeah, yeah. You gotta.
we
you gotta
need
get,
this to.
You can come along,
footage.
Nick, and film.
Yeah, I'll do it. I will
Jared will
do
be
it.
up
If
for
you're gonna go and do it, I will be there. I will film
You'll
every
be
second
there. You'll
of
hold his hand. You'll tell him he's a brave
And-
soldier.
it. Yeah,
Dude, you realise
all
I
of that.
faint. I faint every time I get a
That's
tattoo.
fine because
No, seriously, it's my process. I hate needles, but I don't mind the pain or anything. It's just like the thought of a needle. And so I've got 3 tattoos so far. So it's 3 separate sessions, 3 separate times I've gone in. Thankfully, it's a good friend that does them for me. And
yeah, it is, because normally any of the guys I know that do them would go, that's over.
yeah,
So
there was a dude next to me the last time I went getting a tattoo done, and I said to Jarrett, the tattoo artist, a friend, I'm like, just get started. I'll tell you when I'm about to pass out. And he's a true professional. He gets me the gummy bears to get my blood sugar levels back up. And
yeah.
Gets me
You're a goddamn enigma, Josh Krause.
Gets me a spew bucket and everything. Once I come around, it's fine. I can just sit there and get the rest of the tattoo done. But this other guy sitting in the chair thought I was joking. That we were just joking about me passing out. And I've come to and I'm looking at him and he's staring at me like I'm some kind of freak. I'm like, well, I told you. It's my process.
Wow.
Well, guys, I don't think we can elevate the podcast any higher than Josh committing to an Xbox original brand Xbox tattoo. I think we'll
As long as it's just the X, I don't want the writing.
No, it's just the X.
He has just
the
done
X.
it in a very public forum. So
Yeah, that's fine.
there we go.
I edit this podcast, so if I want to pull out, I can.
You can't.
We'll mention it in the next podcast.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
No, 100% agree to this.
Cool.
Jess will be thrilled.
I'm so pumped to hear your wife's take.
Does
on
it have
this.
to be green, or can I just get black and white?
Yeah.
I fit
No, I want you blue and green,
If you
man.
want it
Come
colour,
on.
that's 2 games of LOL.
Josh, you are lowballing us so fucking hard. Sure, we'll do 2 games if you get the green and yellow and blue coming from the X.
2 games a day for a week.
No.
No!
You just said lowballing. I'm like, he's right. I need to
bad.
Yeah,
renegotiate.
then you shot for this guy.
No,
like,
it's bad
it's-
negotiating. I didn't say I was good at it.
Oh, wow. Wow.
This podcast has not gone the direction I thought it would.
I looked
What do you mean it's
over
not gone
to
the
my
direction
left.
that you volunteered? You walked into the lion's den.
Yeah, you put
I
the idea
looked
in my
over
head.
to the
I couldn't resist.
I saw that pack of sorbent, silky white flushable wipes that I bought and talked about a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I'm not the one to say the dumbest thing on this podcast yet.
The best part is, I was telling Nick he should get the tattoo. He's like, I'll do it.
I never really
He's
liked
taken
Xbox.
I know.
I was going to say that he took that bullet for me, but apparently we're playing League of Legends, so...
Okay, alright, well,
I like Microsoft, so I'll just call it a Microsoft tattoo.
whatever makes you feel comfortable.
I'm doing this for you, Bill.
Alright, guys, well, thanks so much for tuning in to this interesting edition of the Neon City Daily Podcast. I've been Jamie.
Yeah. I've been Nick.
And, I'm Josh.
I bid you good night.
Regretting life decisions. Anyway. Bye.
Bye.
All right.